Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2022 horror film Bodies, 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 hour and a half long as all films should be. This stars Pete Davidson, who's in it for collectively 10 minutes, maybe. Um, this was so slow and so frustrating, leading then up to the awesome twist of an ending the last minute. And that's unfortunate that it feels like I wasted an hour and 29 minutes to get to that final minute of the truth of how this catalyst of events started and things of that nature. So the plot revolves around all of these rich 20-year-olds minus this one guy who's in his 40s and who's the date of this girl in this friend group, and they're spending the time at Pete Davidson's character's family's house, very wealthy mansion. They're prepping for a hurricane party, so a hurricane's rolling through, they're gonna have a party. And so they start to play Bodies, 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 which is another version of Werewolf. Basically, you have your group of friends, you turn the lights off, you either have paper, you have checks and X's, or X would be the murderer, check would be, whoever's still alive, or the werewolf then version, you would then yourself just go up around in the circle as everybody puts their head down in the dark, and whoever you tap is dead. And then the question is, who is the murderer in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies? Who is the werewolf in Werewolf? Same concept. Millennials call it werewolf. Gen Z calls it Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Same version, right? And the older character in this references it as werewolf at one point, but they still call it Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. So then it's a matter of how are the 20-year-olds starting to now die in the order that they were dying in the game, and why is this happening, and who's doing it, and pointing fingers here, and who's sleeping with who when. And it was just so much unnecessary drama and catty bickering throughout the entire thing. It was frustrating. And then I'm supposed to feel bad when these people like fall down the stairs or things, and then a gun randomly appears, and you're like, what is happening right now? Things that were not believable in this was wherever they filmed this mansion had exit signs everywhere. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but a mansion that somebody lives at doesn't have exit signs unless it's like a bed and breakfast hotel kind of a thing. Is that where they filmed at? And if that's the case, why did no one cover the exit sign in the shot? Because you have this giant green exit sign blaring in the background, and I'm like, whose oversight was this? Dumb. Everybody's phone is waterproof, obviously, because they're all rich. So they clearly all have waterproof phones. Thrown in the mud, thrown in the pool, all of these things, right? Sure. Surviving a hurricane, sure. What else really annoyed me? Just when you have a project and the cast is of just awful people, characters, when the characters are awful people, I'm not emotionally invested in them because they're just awful people with then getting kismet thrown around, their just desserts thrown around. And then with that Max character coming in at the end, coming back to the party and saying, what happened? And then that one girl says, oh, I got reception. Cut to black. No. That's what I want to talk about. I saw this on Netflix, and the girl who is dating this other girl who's from some Eastern European country, and it was never explained where specifically, whether it be Poland, Ukraine, or Russia. She's speaking something on the phone, and the subtitles say speaking foreign language. I'm like, oh my God, just tell me what language it is so I know what language this is. I hate when subtitles tell me speaks foreign language. I'm like, bro, just tell me what language it is. Like, how hard is it to type in the language? If you don't want to translate the language, just tell me what language that this character is actually speaking. Like, how much time does it take to just write person? Person is speaking Russian, person speaking Ukrainian, person speaking Polish. Why can't we just write the name of the language at the bottom of the screen? If you're not going to translate it, just tell me what they're speaking. I just want to know what they're speaking. It was so frustrating. I did not enjoy this film. It was problematic in regards to all the behind the scenes type of things that I just pointed out. Didn't find it enjoyable, found it frustrating. And that's what happens when you have a cast of individuals who are just awful people with no character development and point the finger, blame at everybody and all these elite problems and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you've never been hungry. You don't know pain. That's it. That's all I got. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies 2022 horror film. On to the next review. Mahalo.